you would have been perfect as Marvin Gaye. And
Terrence Howard talks about passing up on playing Marvin Gaye because he's heard that he was actually gay.
that is a story that needs to
I
be
will
told.
let you know what happened with that. I was over at Quincy Jones' house. I'm not dropping names. I'm just giving credibility to what I'm about what I'm
never
saying.
drop names. De Niro
Yeah.
told me that.
Yeah. So, but I'm asking Quincy. I'm hearing rumors that Marvin was gay, and I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Oh.
He went around it with everything, and I was like, no, and I'm like, I could not.
I just feel like there's gay for real, and then there's a point where guys get so much, they're just like, oh, it.
Yeah, well, it would have been that, but they would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. It wouldn't.
Well, you mean you couldn't kiss a guy on screen in a movie?
No.
Not even, yeah.
No, because I don't fake it. I
Right.
literally, it has to.
I couldn't kiss a man either. That's true, and that does
that
not.
would f me.
does not
I
make
would
me-
cut my lips off.
Yeah, no. Well,
I would.
okay,
If I kiss some man, I would cut my lips
well,
off.
I would not do that, but it does not make me homophobic to not want to kiss a man, just like lots of gay men are like, yuck, you know. I mean, that's okay. We all have our own, you know. No one wants
fine.
to tell you
do
how
what
to.
you love to do, but don't do it at
Exactly.
me. Don't aim it at me, and I can't play that character.
Right.
100%. I can't.
Right.
I can't surrender myself
Right.
to a place that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And so that's the end part of that story of what I had to
I can
let
understand.
go.
Now, I've looked it up, and there have been rumors, but no confirmation that Marvin Gaye was actually gay. You know, and if we being honest, this brings more of a serious or the main issue of actors, and you know, the whole putting on a dress, acting gay, and everything, like, you know, Cat Williams was talking about. See, I think with this, it comes down to the individual, because what is acting, right? Acting is playing something that you don't necessarily are. What you are, you ain't necessarily that. You're not necessarily feeling that, but you're embodying that role, right? And there are different kind of actors. There's method actors, you know, and also I think the motivation for what, you know, why you're trying to play that role also matters. Are you looking at the money? Is it more about the art to you? I think there are a lot of factors involved, not just, you know, looking at it as, okay, playing this character or not, because some will say most of what you see on TV, the individuals are not really that in real life. So I think it really does come down to the, you know, the individual. Now, of course, if you chasing art, it might be a different thing. Some actors actually act in roles that come more natural to them, like what Terrence Howard was saying.
No, because I don't fake it. I
Right.
literally, it has to.
I think his explanation for why he doesn't want to play the role makes sense. I mean, you know, but that doesn't mean every actor thinks that way or acts the same way, right? If you've seen Hustle and Flow and you've seen Terrence Howard, you can easily see how he is the guy in Hustle and Flow, right? While you've seen some other actors act and you like, oh yeah, you see them in real life, that's completely not their personality, right? So I think it depends on the actor. I don't think necessarily there's anything wrong with you not wanting to play a role that's, you know, doesn't come naturally to you. Now, I understand that at the same time, you know, there's this whole thing, you know, people seem to ridicule or, you know, I guess think that somebody is less of this or less of that. I'm an actor myself. I do comedic roles. I do serious roles. Now, would I play, a gay individual? Me personally, I will definitely not be doing no actions, you know, that's just me. But mannerisms, sure, because if it's funny, my comedy, I might want to play that. you know, depending on how I'm feeling, because for me it's art, you know, and everybody is entitled to their own, you know, style or opinion or whatever it is, because at the end of the day, what an actor is, you're trying to embody a role to send a message, right? Acting is you trying to communicate a certain message, either for entertainment, education, or what have you, right? So I definitely don't see any problem with, you know, him saying what he said, because I think his explanation makes sense. Now, if you are not that kind of individual that's not chasing the art or, you know, what have you, maybe you chasing money as a motivation, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think maybe that might be where the discussion might want to go, you know, because if we're looking at it as art, right, you're trying to communicate a message, I don't think anyone would necessarily see anything wrong with that, because acting is in its essential form, you're being something that you're not, right? No one really looks at an actor and expects them to be the same person they're acting in real life. Now, if you're somebody that thinks that way, yeah, you might want to, you know, research what acting really is about, right? We've heard of, you know, tragic situations like, you know, where actors, method actors, embody the role so much that they lose touch of who they actually are in reality. Now, that doesn't happen to everybody, but we've heard of these situations, or even in movie scripts and all that, where they've chased authenticity so much that, you know, it gets too authentic, right? You know, so of course, when we talk about this situation of gay actors or acting gay or not, Will Smith comes to mind. You know, Martin Lawrence comes to mind, right? And me personally, as I said, I think it just comes down to the actor, you know, and the motivation behind, or their style of acting. I don't see anything wrong. Me, as I said, personally, from what I understand about acting, is you're being something you're not. You know, that's the whole idea. From what I understood about acting, is you embodying a role that's not necessarily you, right? So I don't know. I can't say personally. Y'all can let me know what you think about it. But I think his explanation, I don't know personally which one is right and which one is wrong. I'm not even here to do all that. This is Land of Empathy. This is Bruh Talk. So, you know, speaking from a point of empathy, I really don't see any problem either with someone acting the part or not acting the part. I think it's just your motivation. Are you trying to create art? Are you going for the money? You know, or maybe the scripts itself generally speaks to you, depending on whatever it might be. I just understand acting to be embodying a role that's not necessarily you, you know. So I don't see the you know, the criticalness or, you know, such a big deal when people say stuff like that. Now, I can understand if somebody that is, you know, not homosexual says, yo, you know, I'm not kissing no man. I can act the role, but I'm not, you know, doing anything that really stands out as, you know, homosexual, right? Because acting a certain way doesn't make you homosexual. From what I understand, is being homosexual means you are attracted to another man, right? And, you know, there's certain, you know, certain acts you do, you know what I mean? So, and which I think is one of the things why people are like, you know, the Will Smith role, right? As opposed to the Martin Lawrence role, which is not so much, it's just putting on a dress and all that good stuff. But I don't know. You know, I'm not here to point fingers. I just think personally that this situation has definitely gone too far. I don't think people understand what acting is. And as I said, as an actor myself, did not go to school for it. I have the natural talent for it. And I, you know, filmmaker, actor, I've been chasing it myself. I see it in a different light. You know, I see it in a different light. You know, especially being out here in LA, filled a lot of actors, different kind of actors, acting different kind of roles for different purposes. I think being stuck up on that specific, you know, oh, I'm not going to do, you know, I get it. Me personally, I think it's when you cross the line of doing stuff that, like, you know, if, you know, maybe kissing a guy when, you know, you're a straight man. Some people don't see it as a big deal, you know, but my thing is, what is the motivation behind that? Are you doing that for the artistic purpose, or are you doing that for the money? Now, if you're doing that for the money, as I said, nothing wrong with that. But I think that kind of betrays you know, I guess it would kind of betray your true character in a sense, you know. But then again, as I said, what is acting? Acting is embodying a role that's not, you know, it's not really you, not necessarily you, right? These days, you know, of course, people rather to keep the authenticity. They rather pick characters that are more likely to pick individuals that are more, you know, connected or more, you know, like the character they're trying to, you know, create or trying to portray, you know, because it will be easier for them, right? But what I understood acting to be is embodying a role that's not yours. You know what I'm saying? That's not who you are. As I said, when it comes to sexuality, acting, and I want to say performing, but what I mean is, you know what I mean, the kissing or the, you know, the actual physical stuff. I think for me, that would be going too far. You would not catch me doing something like that. I mean, being 100% realistic. Now, but mannerisms and speech, I think that's more loose, right? It's more, you know, but I would like to get your thoughts about it, you know. No one's claiming right or wrong. It's just trying to get understanding. This is the land of empathy, real talk, right? So we're looking at it from multiple perspectives. So I would like to get your thoughts about it, just, you know, so we can understand each other. We don't have to agree, right? But we should be able to understand each other, you know. So let me know in the comment section. It's your boy Almighty, God of Positive Vibes, right here on Bruh Talk, the land of empathy, right? And I will see y'all next time. Peace and blessings.
Almighty push.
Do like you supposed to. Do like you supposed to. Do like you supposed to. I say do like you supposed to.
You know, doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. They were bigger outside of what they did than what they did. You know, I'm a great rapper, but you forgot about that right now because I'm doing so many other things. So that's what I want to be known for, all of the great things that I do outside of it.